Hello there, very good evening. Welcome to another edition of Primetime News on TV1. I'm Charlotte Benedict for the Newsfirst team.
And I'm Naveksha Gunasekara. Here are your headlines for tonight. Chamara Sampath and Vyalendran back in remand. Is the prosecution of former MPs and ministers just political revenge? Bimal speaks out. Defence Pact sparks debate ahead of Narendra Modi's Sri Lanka visit. Local government election activities halted. Court of Appeal reviews nomination rejections. Inland Revenue Department announces withholding tax exemption for incomes below 1.8 million rupees.
Colombo Chief Magistrate Thanuja Lakmali ordered the remand of parliamentarian Chamara Sampath Dasanayake until the 8th of April. Now, the order was issued after considering submissions by Assistant Director of Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption, Sulochana Hettiarachchi.
Chamara Sampath Dasanayake faces 3 charges based on a complaint filed in 2016 by current Minister and former Uva Provincial Council member Samantha Widiaratna. The charges relate to financial misconduct during Dasanayake's tenure as Chief Minister of the Uva Province. The MP was arrested on the 27th of March and remanded until today. The charges involve the withdrawal of 6 fixed deposit accounts belonging to the Provincial Council, resulting in a loss exceeding 17.3 million rupees after a state bank refused to sponsor school bags for preschool children. During today's hearing, the Assistant Director of the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption, Sulochana Hettiarachchi, said that a week is needed to record statements from several officials of the relevant state bank. She requested that the suspect be further remanded to prevent potential interference with witnesses. Representing Dasanayake, President's Counsel Kalingi Thissa, President's Counsel Anuja Premaratna, and attorneys Anurapriya Dashanayapa and Madhura Vithanage argued that the arrest in 2025 for a complaint made in 2016 with statements recorded in 2019 was politically motivated. They claimed the withdrawal of the fixed deposits was done under the instructions of the then Governor and Chief Secretary of the Uva Provincial Council. After considering both sides, the Chief Magistrate ordered Dasanayake to be remanded until the 8th of April and instructed the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption to complete the investigation within a week. Meanwhile, officers from the Criminal Investigation Department informed the court that, as per previous court orders, they had presented the case against Dasanayake under the Public Property Act before the Badula Magistrates Court. They said that Dasanayake has been named as a suspect in the case and is ordered to appear before the Badula Magistrates Court on the 19th of May. The case will be called again on the 8th of April.
අහන්න එපා මොනවත් අපි යනවා මේ ආණ්ඩුවෙන් අහන්න ආණ්ඩුව ඒගොල්ලන්ට පුළුවන් ඔච්චරයි
Former State Minister S. Vyalendran has been remanded until the 8th April by order of Colombo Chief Magistrate Thanuja Lakmali. The Bribery Commission officials requested the extension, citing ongoing investigations. The order follows allegations that Vyalendran aided and abetted the acceptance of a bribe of 1.5 million rupees in exchange for issuing a sand mining permit. Is the prosecution of former ministers political revenge? Minister of Transport, Highways, Ports and Civil Aviation Bimal Ratnayake commented on the matter during a meeting held yesterday.
What happened on the 21st of September last year? The common man in the country stood up.
පෙනේ දියන්නයි හාමි කියලා සින්දුවක් තියෙනවා. ගෙදර ගිහලා බලන්න YouTube එක.
Today, 2 to 3 months after that, you are seeing the results of those actions. The common people have stood up and intimidated the corrupt, smugglers and thieves. And the people are not done yet. I saw our comrade Anura saying that soon former ministers will be able to convene a meeting at the Valikada prison. The addresses of many people are due to be changed. Their addresses will change to the Valikada prison. All of this is possible because all of you stood up.
Minister of Science and Technology Dr. Krishanta Abesena said that there is no difference between the stance of the Frontline Socialist Party and the government when it comes to the Batalanda Commission report. Speaking today in Kandy, the minister affirmed that the government is just as committed to making sure those responsible for the crimes uncovered in the report are held accountable and punished.
We'll refer
the matter to the Attorney General's department and they'll take it from there. It's been over 30 years. If there's enough evidence, the Attorney General's department will take further action. We are not trying to block this in any way. We have no connection to it. Our stance is the same as the frontline socialist parties. There is no difference. We also want to move this forward, hold those responsible accountable and ensure this doesn't happen again.
දෙන්න පුළුවන් ඊට සාක්ෂි තියෙනවා නම් පැහැදිලි සාක්ෂි දෙන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම තියෙනවා නම් එයාට අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම දඬුවම් දිය යුතුයි. එතන ඉන්නවා අපි.
The Batalanda Commission report.
The Batalanda Commission report, comprising 14,000 pages, including annexes and notes, contains numerous hidden details that have remained concealed from the world. During the operation of the Batalanda torture chamber, Ernest Pereira served as the Inspector General of Police of Sri Lanka. His testimony is a crucial part of the Batalanda Commission report. Excerpt from the Batalanda Commission report.
Did the political executive, in collaboration with the police, not only suppress genuine terrorists, but also use this as a pretext to target their political opponents?
Yes, there were several such incidents.
This is part of the testimony given by former IGP Ernest Pereira before the Batalanda Commission. According to him, a political witch hunt was carried out under the guise of suppressing the armed struggle of the Janatha Vimukthi Peramuna. On the 25th of August 1988, when attorney Vijayadasa Liyanarachi disappeared, Ernest Pereira had been in office as IGP for about a month. The former IGP revealed details about this high-profile murder before the commission. Following attorney Liyanarachi's disappearance, his senior lawyer Ranjita Surya and others intervened and made inquiries from various parties. The Batalanda Commission report said that Tangol Police Superintendent Karavitage Dharmadasa had reportedly claimed that the missing lawyer was in Tangol police custody when inquired by the then Inspector General of Police. According to Ernest Pereira's testimony on the 31st of August 1988, at noon, then Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe had made a phone call to him. Excerpt from the Batalanda Commission report.
On Wednesday, 31st August 1988, at noon, Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe instructed me to bring the suspect to the Special Operations Unit in Kalaniya.
Yes, that was the outcome of those discussions. I acknowledge that.
Did you conceal the truth?
He confirmed the decision.
Did you have telephone conversations with Ranil Wickremesinghe at that time?
Yes.
Did Ranil Wickremesinghe request to bring Liyanarachi to the Sapugaskanda police?
Yes.
Why did Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe want the suspect brought to Colombo and then handed over to the special unit operating in Kalaniya?
After leaving the ministry, Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe called me and instructed to hand over the suspect to the Kalaniya unit. Therefore, I assumed that Ranil Wickremesinghe would inform the Secretary of Defence about this.
End of excerpt. According to the Commission report, the former IGP ordered that attorney Vijayadasa Liyanarachi be handed over to Assistant Superintendent of Police Douglas Pierce, who resides in the Batalanda housing complex. The report suspects that attorney Liyanarachi was taken from Tangol to the Batalanda torture chamber. On the 2nd of September 1988 at 11 p.m, attorney Liyanarachi was admitted to the emergency unit of the National Hospital in Colombo in critical condition. He passed away at 12:55 a.m. in the intensive care unit. Excerpt from the Batalanda Commission report. The post-mortem examination was conducted by Colombo Judicial Medical Officer Dr. L.B. Diawis. According to his findings, attorney Vijayadasa Liyanarachchi died due to shock and hemorrhage caused by multiple muscle and skeletal injuries inflicted by blunt weapons. Why was attorney Vijayadasa Liyanarachchi detained in Tangol, ordered to be taken to Batalanda? Was there a political motive behind the murder of attorney Vijayadasa Liyanarachchi? Is it not time to ensure justice for these crimes and prevent them from being buried forever?
The Bottle of the Commission report.
As Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi prepares for his upcoming visit to Sri Lanka, a heated debate has emerged regarding the agreements expected to be finalized during his tour. A primary point of contention is the claim that a defense cooperation agreement is among the key deals set to be signed between the two countries.
Indian Prime Minister Modi is scheduled to arrive in Sri Lanka on Friday on a 3-day official visit which will conclude on Sunday. During his visit, multiple agreements are anticipated to be signed in areas such as energy cooperation, digitalization, healthcare and broad assistance initiatives, as outlined by Indian Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri in a recent media briefing. Misri also confirmed that a defense cooperation agreement focusing on military training and naval collaboration will be among the key accords signed during the visit. The Samagi Jana Balaveke has raised concerns, accusing the government of preparing to sign agreements that are inconsistent with prior promises made to the public.
Before the NPP and JVP assumed power, they consistently argued that agreements could only be signed for a government's 5-year term. If an agreement extends beyond that, the people must be consulted again. Is there transparency about what is being signed? Will Parliament or the public be informed? We know nothing. No details have been provided. It's fine to discuss and implement ideas that benefit the country, but the government must be forthright and let the people know if they are being misled.
Namal Rajapaksa, the national organizer of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, has also expressed his concerns about the lack of transparency surrounding the agreements.
Prime Minister Modi is visiting Sri Lanka this week. What exactly are we agreeing to? What benefits will Sri Lanka gain from these agreements? The government has not been open about these discussions, yet they are quick to silence those who voice concerns.
The Sarva Jana Balaya has expressed objections to the potential defence cooperation agreement, calling it a serious matter of concern over Sri Lanka's national security.
This is a dangerous development. Sri Lanka has never signed a defence agreement with another country. If this agreement goes through, it will directly impact our national security. Our military will be incorporated into the terms of this agreement. By abandoning our non-aligned policy, we risk being drawn into conflicts between global superpowers. We urge the government to disclose the full details of these agreements and present them to Parliament for scrutiny.
The Frontline Socialist Party has also expressed its concerns about the proposed defence deal, emphasising its potential consequences for Sri Lanka's sovereignty.
Sri Lanka has never entered into a defence agreement like this before. This would be the first time such a deal is being negotiated with India. Reports from Indian media suggest that the agreement is aimed at countering China's growing military influence. Is Sri Lanka being used as a pawn in the broad geopolitical struggle? The agreement, which is set to be signed on the 5th of April, may be the most significant military agreement between India and Sri Lanka since the 1987 Indo-Sri Lanka agreement.
However, Indian Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri has said that the agreement is not a new agreement.
If I am not mistaken, we are working on an update of an existing agreement on defense cooperation with Sri Lanka, and we very much hope that that can be concluded during this particular visit.
Newsfirst with the people.
The local government election Sri Lanka 2025.
The Court of Appeal has ordered the suspension of election activities related to the Colombo Municipal Council and other local government institutions until tomorrow. This order was issued in response to over 30 petitions challenging the rejection of nomination papers for the upcoming local government elections.
The Court of Appeal, presided over by Acting President Justice Muhammad Lafar Tahir and Justice K.P. Fernando, considered over 30 petitions filed against the rejection of nomination papers. The United People's Freedom Alliance was among the parties that filed petitions. Representing the UPFA, President's Counsel Faizer Mustafa argued that the rejection of their nomination papers by the returning officers was entirely unlawful. Other petitioners, represented by President's Counsel Ali Sabri and a team of lawyers, also contended that the decisions to reject their clients' nomination papers were illegal. After reviewing the arguments, the Court of Appeal decided to suspend the election activities until tomorrow to allow further examination of the petitions. The Supreme Court has received 37 writ petitions challenging the rejection of nomination papers for the upcoming local government elections. The court has scheduled further examination of these petitions for the 3rd April. The petitions were reviewed by a bench comprising Justices S. Thurai Raja, Mahinda Samyawardana and Sampath Abekun. Deputy Solicitor General Kanishka De Silva, representing the Attorney General, stated that a settlement could be reached regarding 3 petitions related to the rejection of nomination papers. Lawyers Nuwan Bopage and Ilham Karyappa, representing the petitioners, agreed to withdraw these 3 petitions. Deputy Solicitor General De Silva raised preliminary objections regarding the remaining petitions, arguing that the rejection of nomination papers or actions taken by returning officers in accordance with the local authorities' elections ordinance cannot be challenged through writ petitions before the Supreme Court. She emphasized that such challenges should be brought before the Court of Appeal, as the Supreme Court does not have jurisdiction over these matters.
Before the ballot.
We do not interfere with the law nor with the police. Had we not governed the country the last 4 months, where would these ministers be? Where would the Inspector General of Police be? I want to remind you that it was I who filed the complaint back in 2016, which led to Chamara's arrest. At the time, there was significant pressure on the Independent Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption, to close the files on those involved in fraud and corruption. Within Parliament, we are not even allowed to stand up. The moment we stand up, Choppe gets up. Bimal Ratnayaka, Choppe makes us sit down. Today, they are attempting to silence our 66 voices. Some claimed they would imprison people, and indeed, they have imprisoned a few. Those who were imprisoned have now returned home without a place to live. While some may not fully grasp the complexities of politics, remember, we are prepared to go to prison. But we have not stolen. The Proceeds of Crime Act will be tabled in Parliament within a week and passed with a 2/3 majority. Once enacted, court cases will no longer need to be completed beforehand. If there is suspicion even without immediate proof, this act will allow for the confiscation of assets and further legal proceedings. We will target actions from the past. This law will remain valid for 20 years. It will catch Ranil, it will catch the Rajapaksas, but Chandrika will not be caught. This election is nothing more than an attempt to gain power by criticizing others without offering real solutions to the country's pressing problems. They came promising to expand state-owned enterprises, develop Satusa and build cooperatives to provide goods at affordable prices. Yet, people continue to say it is all talk, no action. We are committed to abolishing all the privileges that politicians currently enjoy. We will ensure that necessary facilities are provided to carry out the work. Ministers and deputy ministers are currently working without any obstacles, but we will not issue vehicle permits to anyone, including members of parliament. We will all work together to implement this change. This is not about any individual reason, but about transforming the political culture for the better.
Myanmar observed a nationwide minute of silence to honor the more than 2,700 victims of a catastrophic earthquake 4 days ago that flattened buildings, displaced thousands, and sparked an international rescue effort amid ongoing conflicts. The death toll has reached 2,719 and is expected to rise to more than 3,000. According to the latest statistics, 4,521 people were injured and 441 were missing.
Myanmar has observed 1 minute of silence to mourn those who died from last week's magnitude 7.7 earthquake that killed more than 2,700 people in the country. The country's military leaders asked earlier this week that the country come to a standstill at 12:51 local time, which is the exact time that the deadly earthquake struck on Friday. In neighboring Thailand, rescuers pressed on searching for life in the rubble of collapsed buildings. The International Rescue Committee said shelter, food, water and medical help were all needed in places such as Mandalay near the epicenter of the earthquake. The UN body said in a report that in the hardest hit areas, communities struggle to meet their basic needs such as access to clean water and sanitation, while emergency teams work tirelessly to locate survivors and provide life-saving aid.
South Korea's Constitutional Court has announced that it will issue its ruling on whether to permanently remove impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol from office.
South Korea's Constitutional Court said in a statement that it will hand down its ruling on Yoon Suk-yeol tomorrow, who was impeached by legislators after briefly declaring martial law late last year. At least 6 of the court's 8 justices needed to uphold Yoon's impeachment to remove him from office. If the court affirms Yoon's impeachment, a presidential election will be held within 60 days. Otherwise, Yoon, who has been suspended from his presidential duties since mid-December, will be immediately reinstated. Yoon has said he issued his short-lived martial law decree to raise alarm about what he claimed was the opposition Democratic Party's obstructionism and sympathetic stance towards North Korea. Yoon lifted martial law within 6 hours after the National Assembly voted unanimously to overturn the decree.
A leaking gas pipeline has sparked a huge fire on the outskirts of Malaysia's capital, Kuala Lumpur, injuring more than 100 people.
The inferno, visible for kilometers around, erupted following an explosion and fireball in the suburb of Putra Heights, central Selangor state. Caused by a leak on a gas pipeline belonging to state-run energy firm Petronas, the blaze quickly threatened nearby villages. At least 49 houses have been damaged and 112 people injured, with 63 sent to the hospital for burns, breathing difficulties and other injuries. No deaths have been reported. The state's disaster management unit said in a statement that efforts to rescue trapped residents were ongoing, with several people being treated for burns. Petronas said in a brief statement that the pipeline had been isolated. Disaster management officials said shutting the valves will eventually snuff out the fire.
China has launched a new round of military exercises around Taiwan in its latest warning to the island's democratic government. Taiwan's defense ministry said it had detected 71 PLA aircraft and at least 19 Navy and Coast Guard, including the Chinese aircraft carrier Shandong.
The Chinese military said it has launched joint exercises involving its Army, Navy, Air Force and Rocket Force around Taiwan as a stern warning days after U.S. Defense Chief Pete Hegseth vowed to counter China's aggression on his first visit to Asia. The drills were being carried out from multiple directions around Taiwan and focused on sea and air combat readiness patrols, seizing comprehensive control, sea and land strikes, and blocking key areas and roads. China considers Taiwan a self-ruled democracy, part of its territory, and has pledged to take control of the island by force if necessary.
Newsfirst, main sponsor.
Tokyo Super, ඕන වැඩකට super.
Biz Fast.
The Department of Inland Revenue has announced that individuals with an annual income below 1.8 million rupees can now apply for a withholding tax exemption.
According to a circular issued by the Department of Inland Revenue, eligible individuals must submit a self-declaration to their respective banks or financial institutions to avail of this tax relief. Effective immediately, the department has informed banks and financial institutions to implement a 10% reduction in withholding tax on interest paid to any depositor. Additionally, new personal income tax rates will be applied from today under the revised limits. The Inland Revenue Amendment Act, which was gazetted in February, outlines new personal income tax thresholds. Monthly income up to 150,000 rupees, tax-free. Monthly income exceeding 150,000 rupees up to 233,334 rupees, 6% tax. Monthly income exceeding 233,334 rupees up to 275,001 rupee, 18% tax. Monthly income exceeding 275,001 rupees up to 316,668 rupees, 24% tax. Monthly income exceeding 316,668 rupees up to 358,335 rupees, 30% tax. Monthly income exceeding 358,335 rupees, 36% tax.
Starting today, a special program to distribute timely food packages to low-income families will be implemented. This initiative will continue until the 13th of April.
The special program aims to reduce living expenses and ensure food security during the upcoming Sinhala and Tamil New Year celebrations. Minister of Trade, Commerce, Food Security and Cooperative Development Wasantha Samarasinghe said that individuals listed in the Aswasuma waiting list will receive these packages. These food packages will be available at Lanka Sirasa and Coop Fed outlets nationwide. A food bundle worth 5,000 rupees will be offered at a reduced price of 2,500 rupees. Currently, there are approximately 812,000 beneficiaries of the Aswasama program. Minister Samarasinghe also mentioned that new applicants who meet the eligibility criteria will receive the benefits. A systematic mechanism will be in place to ensure that the benefits reach the rightful recipients. The Ministry of Finance, the Food Policy and Security Committee and the Cooperative Retail Network will jointly implement this program under the theme Happiness with Satosa.
An exclusive engagement conference to explore how organizations can find the right vocational talent through Sri Lanka's TVET career guidance and job matching platform at zero cost was held in Colombo today.
An exclusive engagement conference to explore how organizations can find the right vocational talent through Sri Lanka's TVET career guidance and job matching platform at zero cost was organized by the Ministry of Education and the Tertiary and Vocational Education Commission in collaboration with the Korea International Cooperation Agency. Speaking at the event, Ambassador of the Republic of Korea to Sri Lanka, Myeon Lee, emphasized on the importance of the TVET career platform.
The KOICA-funded TVET career platform project addresses the gap in youth employment by offering a comprehensive solution. The Career One Sri Lanka platform provides career counseling, job matching services, and access to vocational training. This platform allows students and job seekers to unlock their full potential while contributing to Sri Lanka's economic growth.
Along with physical resources, human resources are one of the most important resources of the country. When we are going to develop our country, our land and other resources are limited, and we can place great trust in human resources. I believe that the Territorial Education Commission has a major role to play in transforming unskilled human resources into skilled human resources.
The event was attended by several key figures, including Secretary to the Ministry of Education, Higher Education and Vocational Education Nalaka Kaluava, Secretary to the Ministry of Industries Tilaka Jayasundara, Director General of the Tertiary and Vocational Education Commission Dr. K.A. Lalitadiro and other stakeholders.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News on TV1 for tonight.
Thank you for watching.
Good night.